Ashes get beautified, stop by and jazz it up. We bring it back to life, taking it to brand new heights. Ashes get beautified, stop by and jazz it up.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Jasmine and I'm back with another video. Today's video will be a little bit shorter. I'm doing a mini makeover on my sister's outdoor space. She just moved into that garage space that I've been making over, that I staged recently. So she's officially moving in there, and so all of her boxes and things are outside. The furniture that was in that room got put outside, so I'm going to help clean up the outside and help her make over that outdoor space. Stay tuned because I think I'm going to be helping her make over the kitchen, which I showed you guys in my last video, if you're interested to see that. So here's the space before, and it pretty much has things that were in the room that we cleared out for my sister to move in, as well as boxes and things that she used when she moved in. So we're clearing out the space, getting rid of things, and finding another place for things to be stored, so that we can freshen up the space. While I was cleaning up, I came across this porch light that I used to have hanging by the door, so I just cleaned it up and put it back up. Once everything was clear, I just gave it a good wash before adding decor back into the space. We're just using what we have, and she had a couple faux plants and we had this bamboo tree already in the yard, so we're just going to use them. I am potting the one that does not have a pot. I'm just going to use some real soil and pot it. Makes it feel a little bit more real. I mean, it is fake, so it is what it is, but it looks a little bit better. So when I used to live here, this used to be a really cute little garden, and I just can't take care of it now that I don't live here. So I'm thinking of replanting all of this using some propagated plants that we currently have and making this into a little garden for my niece who's 5 years old, and I'm going to teach her how to water it so she can kind of take over it and take care of it. Have some of these like overgrown ones, so I'm just gonna take some from here. They propagate really easily and I can just do it right into the soil. I'm not a plant expert, but I've done it a few times before and it worked. So yeah, we're gonna borrow some from over here. And yeah, most of you guys probably already know this, but succulents kind of just regrow themselves, and they're pretty simple when you propagate them. You could propagate them in water, which I've done before, or you can just place them into the soil and propagate them and they will grow roots on their own. Even some of these ones, like, pieces fell off and they just took root into the dirt. Like, they didn't even need good soil. So I'm pulling up the ones that kind of just took root into the dirt here, and I'm gonna repot those into pots instead. And then I'm also going to just propagate into the soil as well. My niece also really loves to play in the dirt, so she wanted to plant in these planters that she painted that were on the table, so we're letting her plant some wheatgrass, and we'll see how it turns out. Now let's get into the DIYs. So I'm pulling out the Cricut because I'm going to be using the Cricut to make all of our projects. The Cricut is a cutting machine and it's used to cut hundreds of materials and is perfect for making personalized projects. The Cricut is really easy to open and set up. It comes with a design software called Design Space, which I'm using here on my iPad in the middle of our living room. So as you can tell, it's really simple and you can use it anywhere. I found these designs on Design Space that are just pictures of plants, a silhouette or an outline, if you will, and I want to use these to create some really cute, simple black and white pillow covers. So I'm going to be using these plain white pillow covers that are polyester ones from Cricut. These are going to be great for outside, but you could also do it on an indoor pillow cover that you have on hand as well. So just to make sure I'm cutting out the right size for my pillow cover, I do measure it and then readjust the size accordingly. Once I've decided on the size, I hit make it and just kind of follow the prompts through to cutting. So since I'm using the Explorer 3, I can use a smart material, which this is smart iron-on, and I can just insert the material directly into the machine and it will cut it. After it's done being cut out, I weed the design, just removing all of the negative space or the parts that I don't want included in the design, and then stick it onto my pillow cover and apply the heat. I do double check my measurement just to make sure that it's in the center. And then I use the easy press on each side of the pillow cover to make sure that design adheres. And this is how they turned out. On to project number 2, we're going to be doing a DIY welcome mat. So I needed a 24-inch cutting mat, but I did not have one. So I'm going to be using two 12 inches and taping them over at the 11-inch mark. So the top of the second board will meet to where the 11-inch line will be on the first board, and just stacking them. So I tape the front side, flip it over, and then tape all the way across the back. Then just remove the tape on the front and you're good to go. So I'm using freezer paper to create a stencil. So I'm cutting it to fit on my mat. Then I'm just gonna remove the plastic protection on my mat and I'm gonna stick the freezer paper to the mat. So I'm just laying it as flat as possible and making sure to get any little bubbles out. So my initial idea was to go with this last name mat, but my sister kind of wasn't really feeling that one as much. So we found this other idea and we kind of went with this. She really liked this one with the plants on it. So it fit in with our theme and it's springtime, so it's perfect. Once I was ready to cut, I put the mat with a freezer paper into the Cricut and cut out our stencil. Once it was done cutting, I did a reverse weeding on this one since I want to use it as a stencil. I took out the parts that I didn't want and I'm leaving the stencil. I'm using transfer tape to adhere the whole design so I don't lose any of the center pieces, like the middle of the O and the A and the P. So I just used transfer tape to get it all off of the board. Then I cut out an outline of the plant that I wanted and put them all onto the mat. So because I didn't do something that was sticky, it did not stick to the mat. So I had to hold down the center pieces, like the middle of the O and the A, while I painted those letters. But I know there are easier and better methods. So definitely, if you're going to recreate this, check on YouTube to find maybe a simpler tutorial. So I kind of ended up freehanding this, which, okay, it's not the best. It's not my best work. Okay, let's see how this turned out with the stencil. That actually looks really good. I wasn't sure because I couldn't get these pieces to lay down. It looks so good. Much better than I was expecting. So this is 3 coats of paint. Yay, it came out really good. My drawing, not so much, but I don't mind it. It's not terrible. So project number 3 is I'm going to make a wood sign for my niece's little garden. Her name is Eden, so we're calling it the Garden of Eden. Yes, it's kind of cheesy, but I really like it. So I'm cutting it out. I cut out on removable vinyl, and I'm using transfer tape to stick it on to the piece of wood. I am going to hand paint it. If I wanted to, I could have just stuck the piece of vinyl directly, like the letters, directly on the wood, but I wanted it to look more hand painted, so that's why I'm using the stencil instead. This is probably the easiest one of all 3 projects. I'm just filling in the stencil with some white paint, and it's super easy because it's just going on wood, so very quick and easy project. I want to hang some plants like every other one, but not right now. We'll probably do it before the summer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which one of the Cricut projects was your favorite. Huge shout out to Cricut for sponsoring this video, and I will be linking all of their products down below just in case you're interested in checking them out. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and hit like on this video if you enjoyed it. As always, keep spreading the love and light, and I will catch you on the next one.